Hi, I'm Nate Caddy. You're listening to the Don Pod.
Welcome to the Don Pod, the supporters podcast. Here's your hosts, Sam and Nate.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
The Bombers go to Perth, show a little bit more fight, but come home losers 9-9-63 to Fremantle 16-8, 104, the second time in as many weeks. The team against us has been incredibly accurate. Welcome back to the Don Pod.
Yep.
I'm not salty at all. I'm Sam, joined by Nathan, who's now named Nathan. Hello.
Just Nate. Hello, Sam, and welcome everyone. Sorry you have to do this again. I'm a bit salty. I want this to be two big statements from the game.
Too big, go.
Two
Like,
big
go.
statements from
Go.
the game. Pre-game, I liked Voss. Post-game,
Yeah.
he can go and get fucked.
Yeah, he's a bit
Um,
isn't he?
And the second thing is, who the fuck is the producer at Fox that can't work out when the game's on and when to show a highlight? Like,
And not just show a highlight, we saw lots of pointless highlights and didn't see lots of highlights that we should have seen about free
when there was
kicks
an
and
iffy
stuff.
free kick, yeah. And then just to salt in the wound, the motherfuckers, the bit where Voss is having a shot in the fourth quarter and they show a picture of him in an Essendon jumper.
But it's not just they show
Have
a
they
picture.
ever done that before? Has that ever happened before? I mean,
Literally
players
just
leave clubs, don't they? Like, this is not a new thing. Like,
Yep, so I'm expecting plenty of Paddy Dangerfield in Adelaide gear tonight.
Yep.
It wasn't just that, it was just slapped on the screen. Like, it was such a low effort thing. Like,
it was a
anyway.
training top. Like, it was a training shot.
Because he never played a game for us, let's not forget.
Played a lot of it.
Wasn't good enough to play for us.
No, and to be honest, you and I know we're way off track already, but this really got my goat because we were shit, and I have to find things besides our players to get angry at. You and I agreed that Archer May had a better game.
Had a better game on the night.
Yeah, on the game.
100%.
Yeah, on the night, definitely. Yeah,
100%. And Archer May kicked 2 goals, and not once did he celebrate like an absolute fuckhead. So, huge tick.
So Voss, if I meet you in the street, you're a toss bag, mate. I don't care how big and tough you think you are.
He won't see you. No, don't say that.
No, he won't see me.
Corbell had 32 disposals, 8 clearances, 5 tackles. Darcy Parish, 31 and 6 clearances. And Archibald Roberts had 25 touches. May and Luamon Lual kick 2 goals each. Wright, Kako, Gresham, Dersma and Caddy kick 1 apiece. That is one of very few times that Caddy and Kako, aka Cadco, feature in the goal kicking.
Just for the people out there, that's Sam's thing, the Cadco, but he wants it working, people. Tweet it or Twitter it or whatever people do.
I have seen it plenty. It's not just me.
Okay, all right. It's not just you. There you go. I'm into that world.
Oh dear. Where do we start? Can we start with Shai Bolton?
Oh, yeah, that's another one that this just... We should tell people too that this was one of those games that you and I watched.
We watched together
through our.
You only spit the dummy once, which was nice.
Yeah,
just once. Don't remember what happened, but it was just once. Can I just? And I saw this on Twitter. It's not original content. You leave Richmond when the going gets tough. You go and join a team like Fremantle, who are supposedly on the rise, and then you point out the scoreboard when you're up against a bunch of 20-year-olds. Not only that, from that point on, you fucked up every single opportunity you had to kick a goal.
Yep, I think the Essendon players took that very personally, and they really made it. Did. They made it their every effort to make sure you didn't do anything really good after that.
And he got run down twice with an empty goal in front of him.
Yep.
And honestly, night made.
And there was one of them where Roberts did it, and I think it was Laverde came in over and ruffled his hair and say, "Well done, buddy."
Setters did it. Setters ran him down.
Yep.
It was just...
Old man Setterfield.
You can call us salty, like sour grapes for Voss.
Of course.
I got nothing against Shai Bolton before last night. No. You did not point at the scoreboard against a bunch of school children, buddy.
You don't point. You don't point at the scoreboard in around 14 or whatever it was, bloody.
I don't think you point at the scoreboard anyway.
No. Maybe you do it in a grand final when you're up by 20 and they're trying to fight you, but that's about, I don't know when.
It's not even Hawthorn players have stooped that low. Like
they are arrogant.
They are a bunch of pricks. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get on topic for the Essendon Football Club and that game of football. So, started really well. We were quite happy. was going rather swimmingly, and then sort of got away from us, and then we brought it back again after Shy Bolton saga.
Yep.
We got it back again. We got within, I think, 15 points or so, and
Hey,
then
can we
let
talk?
them come out. I'm just going to do a bit of a
Yeah, sorry.
synopsis, and then let them come out early in the third quarter, and they kicked a few goals, and that's kind of where it stayed
Yeah.
for the rest of the night, I think. Which honestly is all right. Going to Perth, young team.
Can we quickly talk about the umpires?
Well, I don't actually know if they were wrong because they refused to show any replays of the
Yeah,
free
that's true.
kick.
Some of
Uh,
those free kicks in the ruck were very
Oh,
what for? What
there
what?
was one where Luke Jackson literally was shepherding Vigo back.
Yeah.
So Vigo's had to reach around him, pardon the
Mm,
expression,
mm,
and given away a high tackle or high contact. I'm like,
yep.
no, he's being he can't get to the ball because Jackson's just standing there and blocking him from the drop. I didn't think you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
There were a couple where all the players just looked at the umpire like, which way's
Who's
the
getting
game?
it? Yeah.
Oh, which way? Don't know. Oh, it's Freo. Of course, it's Freo.
Yep. And the point I was going to make too was that Vigo's tackle at just with 30 seconds to go of that second quarter has now made him one of my faves,
Instant,
instant faves.
instant
He was going
favourite.
along really well. Like you and I were talking, he's going right. He's doing right. Like we weren't expecting the world. We weren't.
What
We were
was
like,
impressive, it wasn't the ruck work so much, but it was around the ground.
yep. And he's going to be struggling that ruck work against a bigger, stronger
I
Jack,
mean,
the high leaping Jackson.
Jackson was bogged. Like he's
Yeah,
best
yeah,
on by
that's
a
right.
mile.
And
Like, it's fine.
yep. But it was
But
around the ground. He got involved in handball chains. He
it's
picked the ball up really
clean.
well below his
Yeah.
knees. Like he kicked the ball well. Like he did things and went, yeah, he's good. He makes the grade. Like he can play.
Kind of made us sit there and go, you know what? If we do happen to lose Draper, I'd rather keep him,
Yep.
but we'll be okay if that was to happen.
Well, the question I asked you during the game, and I'll ask. I've got some series of those questions a bit later. Is that would you going forward now? How many games would you play Vigo out of compared to Goldie?
How many do I think we should do, or how many do I think the club will do?
Well, how many? I don't care about the club because they'll do stupid things. How many do you think we should do?
I would like to see him come back after the bye.
Yeah. Who we got after the bye? Gold Coast.
Gold Coast and Wits. So I can see a world in which Goldstein would make a bit more sense. I can
Yeah.
see a world where we play both of them. You've pretty much got a older Draper and Brian in that you've got the really bulky ruckman and the guy who's a bit more around the ground.
Yeah.
Probably loses like an Archer Maggie spot, to be honest, but I don't
And he
know.
was
They
very
were
good
both
too,
pretty
so.
solid. Yeah, they both had okay games of footy. So I don't know. I think the club will just play Goldstein. I reckon that's the last we'll see.
I think they'll play Goldstein, but I think you made a point when I asked you, and I thought it was probably the valid point. It would depend on his body.
Oh, it depends on him, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and if his body was fine, I would play him even against Wits because I'm saying, well, if I can get 5 to 10 games into him now in the second half of the year, that's massive development for him. Now, all it is for Goldie is just nothing.
A few
Like,
extra dollars a week.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously you don't want to burn out Vigo. That's the main thing. You would be really like, tell us what your body's like. You know, we don't want you wearing out.
Yep.
But just for experience, unreal.
Fully support that. I just don't think we'll do it.
No, I agree. Yes.
I reckon we might see Vigo again a couple of times in a similar scenario. Goldie, what is it, round 16 we have the bye, so maybe around 21, 22.
They have to play it again on that game.
I'd
I
hope
saw
so.
Brad Scott even said really good things about him. Like he was like,
Oh, yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah.
That tackle,
yeah.
if
So many
He
times we
killed
see
himself.
Essendon players not tackle, and here we go crunching and a free kick.
killed the man, nearly killed himself and the Freo player.
Yeah, we thought he concussed himself.
Oh,
didn't
we
Like,
were devastated. We thought it was shoulder.
Shoulder concussion,
And I
everything.
thought, well, if
We
it's
were going,
concussion, at least, he misses the second half, but there's no football next week. So,
Yeah.
all right. But no, he just knocked the wind out of himself.
yeah, that was
Going
awesome.
a bit too hard, the fella.
Mm.
Really loved his game.
That brings us on to then the other topic that we wanted to discuss was the older senior players.
Well, can we mention a few more of the younger guys
Yeah, of course.
first, just before we
Mm.
digress too much?
No, that's fine.
So we talked about May. I liked his game, got around the ground really well, took marks, kicked goals.
Yep.
Just a good-looking footballer. Lual was the one I wanted to mention.
Yep, nice. Yep,
We criticised him last week because he looked a little bit lost.
it did. Yes.
Very lost.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little bit lost at times last night. Let's call a spade a spade. But what he did, he kicked 2 goals himself and he set up 2 others by having a bit of awareness
Mm.
when Freo were kicking back in after a behind.
Yep.
run in, spoiled, got the ball back for us for the first goal. Then the second time he actually won the ball back, I think, and handballed it to whoever. I think Parrish, and then he might have miskicked it completely, but still hit a target. Who kicked the goal? Might have been May at that point, actually. But
Yep.
just involved. He was just there and he was doing
Mm.
stuff, and it was a bit of pressure on them coming out of their back half, and I really liked it.
Yep. Well, I'll ask you a few questions then.
Please do.
Of the guys that have played so far, so who do you think, when as players start to come back after the bye, we're expecting a few back after the bye, who do you think holds their spot? And I'll throw a few names out there. So, for example, Archer May. Now, he would be, I reckon, a direct comparison for Langford. Would that be a fair? If Langford fits, he comes in, kicks out May. Would that be the fair?
Probably.
Mm.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Now, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. He's only played 2 games,
No, but you know, from the Geelong game where he wasn't very involved, and I could have sworn Black and Blue he got dropped, but I just completely got that wrong.
that was my
It was weird. I was like, is May playing? What? I thought, okay. Look, Langford probably comes back.
Yes, okay. What about Lual?
Again, well, it depends who's coming back. You might
We'll say
think
it's
the AFL website would order these injuries by who's closest, but no, just chuck them all in there. Doesn't matter.
no. Well, so say it's like, was he a half forward or a half back? Do you think he's been playing?
Yeah. He's been
What
everywhere,
about?
man.
Here's an easier one. Johnson.
Johnson keeps his spot, yes.
Yes.
I'm happy with that. I don't think there's an easy replacement for him.
Yep. What
Looking
about
at the
Blackiston?
list, no. Once
Once a tall comes
Reed
back.
comes
Yep.
back, he's first out. I liked a bit of what Blackiston did. He moves
Yep.
well. He cannot kick or handball.
Yeah,
It is so uncomfortable to watch. It's not like they were accurate. They just look
A
terrible.
couple of times he nearly missed the ball though. Clark.
Probably Redmond,
Yep.
I think. And that's probably a little bit harsh, but again,
Yep. No. I mean, this is okay. This is not.
although you could argue for both of the ones you just mentioned, Laverde, but I'd have Laverde ahead of
I would
Blackiston.
have a little. If it's Ridley or Reed, and I don't think both of them will be back in one. Yeah, if it's both, then both, yes. But I don't think both are coming back. I would have thought they'd keep Laverde until the third tall rolls back in.
They're both Reed and Ridley are 2 weeks away.
Yeah,
So,
so
presumably both back after
1
the bye.
week is the bye, and then the week after. Like I still wouldn't guarantee they're back after the bye. To be honest.
Well, that's what the club's saying at this point.
Yeah.
And we'll also get Durham back. Which
Do you
might be
assume
the replacement
Durham
for
definitely? Do you
Wild.
assume that we'll play like they'd play a game or just train?
I don't fucking know.
Hmm.
Next
Anyway.
week? Do you mean for the bye or?
Well, do you reckon they'll make those guys play a game or just?
No. Maybe
yeah.
Reed because of his history. I mean, you can
Yep.
argue the same for Ridley, but
Yeah.
probably not.
I guess what I'm asking is, I'm just sort of trying to get out is that what do we think of these kids that have been put on under the torch? Just, how do you think, as you and I have mentioned a few times, that this could be a great, hopefully this is a great building for the
Look-
Essendon Football Club. Hopefully we keep some of these guys. They turn into players.
We're professional guessers,
That's a great description of what we do.
I think. So if you just said, forgetting who's coming back, if you just said to me, has Clark, Johnson, Lual done enough to keep their spots?
Definitely for
Probably.
next week, yeah.
Well, yeah, the next week we play the bye. It's a tough one, but I
If
reckon
we
we'll
were
get
playing,
the job done.
if we were playing Gold Coast next week, yeah.
However, if they have to go back to the VFL because we've got better guys coming back, what I would really love to see is them go back to the VFL and be a damn sight better
Yeah.
than what they were beforehand in the VFL.
Yeah, good point.
And it's nothing against them. I just think if you've got Langford or Archer May, you kind of got to play Langford.
Yeah, you
I
do.
understand that.
I think you do. I think you pay Langford in front of him, but Langford now knows that he's got a replacement in. Like he's got.
Yeah, there's a kid there ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sure.
that's a good thing because if he breaks down again, which I'm still a bit skeptical about his longevity in because we can't seem to get those guys that play till 35 and play 350 games.
350 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish we could just have one of them. I guess Merritt might be one. Um, anyway, I think that the positive we took out of last night again was the young players are still playing really well. Johnson didn't have his best game, but
No,
we
neither
really
did
liked the
Clark.
way it's been the last 2 or 3 weeks. Clark was okay last night, not great or anything, but he's had a really tough job playing as a defender for a kid that never plays as a defender. So, um, and that I guess leads us on to the other conversation about the senior players that we're a bit more disappointed with.
A bit, yeah. Well, we'll start with the whipping boy. Don't even know if I have to say his name. I think anyone who listens regularly will know I'm talking about Gresham. But
Mm.
anyway, so Bro had 9 disposals for the game, which is really impactful. He had 4 disposals in the first quarter,
Which was good.
4 disposals in the last quarter. Now, once again, I find myself for the second time in 2 weeks going, maybe he's playing all right. First quarter, I thought, he's around a bit. He's getting. He had 0 and 1 disposal in the second and third quarters.
Yep.
Got the ball in the fourth quarter. Went, oh, he's playing. Oh yeah. Just again missed a set shot.
Some of the decisions, those kicks, like
Oh,
just horrible. He
God.
can't kick far, so he
If
really. Mm.
just to tie that, sorry, back to the
Yeah.
previous conversation, I'd fuck him off before I pissed off Johnson
Yes, I agree. Yes,
or Clark or Luwal, or maybe Luwal. Luwal's probably the weakest of the three. If I had to,
Luell's
pick.
body size is the biggest issue with him. He's just a
But
little kid, like.
yeah, but I'd get him out before I got
Mm.
any of those guys out. At least they'd given their all.
Yeah, I agree. There's a bit more commitment, and there's a bit more like I'm old-fashioned in this that if they're the 19-year-old kids who are you put investment into. Gresham's played 170 odd games. He's 27 or 8 or whatever he is,
It's old
and we're
enough to
seeing
know
games
better.
like that still from him. Like I'm just like, well, what's the fucking point there? Like, just give up.
Yeah. Guelphy's similar. Now, Guelphy made a brilliant smother in the
Yes.
first quarter of them coming out, and that's the sort of shit we love with Guelph.
Yep.
But it was one moment, and that was kind of it. So he had 7 disposals again, 4 in the first, then 0, 2, and 1. Just not in the game for long enough. And
Got to find the way to be in the game, doing impactful things. Like
yeah,
as a defending forward, he's got to tackle. He's got to his tackle numbers went high.
those smothers are
Yeah.
your game.
Yep.
That's what he does. So
Yep.
that's kind of
Agree.
what you got to be doing. That's not the exact same thing over
No.
and over again, but tackling, pressure, like
Yep. Chasing.
that's what you got to bring. And
Yep.
if you're not, again, I would say I'd rather a Clark or a Johnson. Like,
Yeah.
I just would. Especially when you've got guys like Kako in his first year, Caddy in his second year, who are involved,
Yeah.
regularly involved. Kako probably played one of his better all-round games.
Yep.
Of the
And
year.
his numbers would be similar, but there's
He
so
was
much more
better,
influence
yeah.
he has on the game.
Yeah, I did check that. He was a bit better. He had
Yeah,
one
okay.
quiet quarter, but the
Yep.
other 3 were okay.
Yeah.
But like Caddy tried to take mark of the year, took a mark. I don't think it was that good, but it
It
was
wasn't
tried.
bad. Yeah, it was
It was a
good.
good mark.
Yep.
Just launched a 70-meter barrel because he had nothing short, so he just dropped it on the boot and did a perfect spiral.
It was beautiful.
Kicked a goal, I believe. Yes, I did say that earlier because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
Kako. Yep.
Mm.
And like these are first and second year players who are very much outshining you guys. Like,
Yeah.
frustrates me. It really frustrates me when it's the senior players.
Yeah, and it was guys like we don't. This is an unusual thing for us to say, but Merritt's had a couple of shockers in a row, and we're
Merritt was
questioning what his role is at the moment. And I guess our point here is that why can't they just play him in the midfield? Like I don't get this half forward, half back, wing, everywhere else. Sort of. I know he gets tagged. Make him fucking deal with it and play in the midfield.
Playing the guts. Can we maybe revisit a conversation you and I had earlier
Go.
where you said I was right
Oh, I don't recall
about
this.
everything I've ever said?
This has never happened, people.
Something about Parish being worse since
No, I
Parish
knew
came
you.
back into this. Was that what you said? Was it?
No, I said
Not even today. Or was that yesterday? I can't talk to
that
you.
was so many brilliant conversations we have. I said something along the lines of, I don't think as a structure we are better with Parish and Caldwell and Setterfield as the 3 midfielders because it's just too one-dimensional.
You said almost verbatim, we haven't looked as good since Parish came back.
Well, the thing is that I don't get about this is that I'm not blaming Parish on this. I'm blaming, don't you tiki bugger? I'm blaming the coaches because I don't understand that when they have those, because they were our 3 main CBA attendees. It was Setterfield, I think, had the most, Caldwell had the second most, and Parish had the third most. Now, I don't understand that as a structure because they're three one-dimensional players. And they're all good players. There's not, but they need that Durham's not playing, but they need a paceman, somebody who's going to run away from the contest, and that could be a Perkins, that could be definitely it's a Merritt. Durham who's not playing, and then there's Hobbs who goes in there a bit too, and he's a similar bit of a plotter, not a speedy run away from contest kind of guy. So I was like, this is not the midfield we need.
Well, you did make this point at the time in that, we looked at it. Setterfield had 17 disposals, 11 of them were kicks. So he kind of ended up being that guy on the outside. And no disrespect to Setters, he's a good little player, but he's not an outside midfielder.
No, he's not running away from contests, hitting targets. So he can
kicking,
do that, but he's not. That's not his go-to.
His kicking seems remarkably better than it used to. I'll give him that.
Yeah, no,
but he's not the outside mid. And you're right, it's one-dimensional, and I don't understand.
And the problem has been, the positive has been that Caldwell's been playing great. So Setters has been playing as a tagging role, so he has to be in there. And then the third one's been Martin, who wasn't in there a lot last night. Again, you go, well, why isn't he pushed into that role? Like, why don't we just stick him in the guts for a long period of times?
I think what we're trying to say here, perhaps, if I could bring it back to one comment, Jai Caldwell has gone past Darcy Parish.
Yes, that's a fair statement.
And there may only be room for one of those two.
That's a fair statement.
In the same midfield. Maybe they can both play in the same team.
Yes, 100%.
But not in that middle three.
Nope. One of them has to go forward at patches. And this is what I don't understand why it's Merritt forward. Because Parish can go forward. He started his career as a forward. He wasn't great.
He had two shots at goal and nearly missed the ball twice.
A beautiful pass to May, hit him on the chest.
Yeah. The great Parish denier over here.
Yes, I'm the great
denier. You're denying that he's bad. I don't know if that makes you a great denier.
No, I don't think he's bad. I just think his kicking's deplorable.
Anyway, more of a structural issue that. Das was better. Das's first week was appalling, but he has been generally better since.
Yep.
But yeah, what we're saying,
the structure doesn't make sense to me.
Hopefully, once Durham's back, because he's back after the bye as well. Geez, there'll be some changes for that Gold Coast game.
That doesn't seem like Durham's.
But he's the outside. He's that outside guy that can rack off real bloody quick outside of the stoppage.
I still think Merritt's that guy too, and we have to.
I agree.
He has to be doing that more.
He for the first time looked done. Like he was annoyed, angry. Didn't chase a couple of times. When Hobbs gave away that high tackle, threw his head back and was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah.
Interestingly, looked like Brad Scott said something along the lines of "How many fucking times?"
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
And what was it Stanton said?
And Stanton's facial expression of "Told you so."
Yeah. There was some funny little things, but we would have liked to seen replays them. But Fox.
Yeah, it was so jarring that coverage.
Yes.
I can't.
Anyway, I guess our take from this game, we were more disappointed with the senior players. We were okay because the juniors, the younger players, get a bit of a pass anyway, even if they do some stupid things because they're kids.
Yeah.
But you expect now it's time for the senior players to step up and become.
But this is now like the third week of being disappointed with the senior guys. In that Brisbane game, I made a comment about like Goldstein and Setterfield both kicked set shots when it mattered.
Yes.
They both got the ball and fourth quarter kicked the goal. That's why I rate that sort of stuff, because you're just the senior player doing the thing you have to do, and all the rest of the team, the younger guys go, oh, yeah, good, yes, okay. Trust, faith, belief in your teammates.
That's right.
Now, senior players who I thought were okay last night, Laverde did Laverde things.
I thought he had a good game, to be honest.
Had the angry pills a few times. That's all right. Didn't do anything stupid. Pryor had his 15 touches, 11 kicks, went at 100%.
Yep.
Quite like him. Got beaten once or twice, but okay.
He had a tough job.
He did. Was involved in the Shea Bolton scenario, so probably got pissed off because of that. Andrew McGrath could take a holiday, and I wouldn't mind.
Peter Wright was
he
fine.
Shits me. Pete was all right. Pete's role of this rucking forward is good. I like it.
Oh, I'd rather see him just permanent forward. But
I know you would, but I like him around the ground. I like him as that second ruck. Dersma has quote-unquote hamstring tightness, so can't wait for him to be out for 4 weeks.
That'll be at least 4 weeks.
Yep.
Tightness in the Essendon Football Club is 4 to 6.
Football club. And Perkins, we kind of worked out with 40% game time wasn't awful. Squibbed
No.
a bit. He shot himself going back with the flight and made a real
little bit.
error, which I don't hate seeing that. It's
not good.
Got a debutant who's 204 centimeters tall, absolutely cracking in one end.
Yeah.
You come on and give that.
Yep.
Not sure
Disappointing.
about that. Yeah. But I guess the real takeaway is here that Caddy is the future. Bro was everywhere.
Sam was so excited with him, even though I pointed out a couple of stupid things he did.
You-
Like, what are you banging on him about? He's just a young player. He's doing
You were
great.
hating on him. You were really giving him grief. Make sure he knows that.
He
next
took a
time
mark at 50. He didn't turn around and have a look. He just strolled back. I'm like, don't like that. And then he turns around and drops it 10 meters short. Couldn't even make it. Just I'm like, hang on, dude. What are you doing? Why didn't you turn around and look for someone?
That's the first time he's done it. And let's hope he's learnt.
Let's hope someone
he's
said
in
to him,
his
next time,
second
just swivel your head, have a little skizz,
don't-
just to see if Gresham's by himself 15
Oh,
hours.
fuck off. He'd miss it anyways. Net result is the same. I don't mind the confidence to go for it. And I think as long as you learn from that moment, fine.
Yeah.
All right. Leave my boy alone.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
fair
you're out of the sponsorship group.
That's
I've already
not a
got your
group.
money. I've already got your money.
Yeah, that's 2 of us, you dickhead.
That's a group.
It's
a group, not a
partnership.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Votes?
No, geez, we rolled through that quick, haven't we?
Well, it's not much to talk about, mate. We were shit.
No, I know. It's the same thing every week.
There's only so many ways we can explain to people how shit we were with like 14 senior players out of the team.
Yes. I remembered the post this week. That must be a record. I think that's 3 or 4 weeks in a row. Aaron Overington said Fremantle by 41, and Fremantle did in fact win by 41.
He should have put money on that, Aaron. You're very good at it.
Thanks to a Paddy Voss point late in the game.
Wanker.
He gave 1 vote to Setterfield, 2 votes to Archie Roberts, and 3 votes to Jai Caldwell.
Yeah, good option.
You go.
I gave 1 vote to Laverde. I thought he was Laverde like, but he was pretty good.
He was solid,
2 votes to Caldwell. He cracked in and just did Caldwell things. I gave 3 votes to Vigo because I love my ruckman.
You are a bit of a ruck fiend. Yeah.
And that tackle, I just was like, I love this kid. I'm in love. He's my new. We have 3 very good ruckmen, I reckon, at the club in Draper, Brian, and Vigo. Like very talented. It'll get awkward in a couple of years. That's why I said maybe Draper can leave.
Sorry, Goldstein, if you're listening.
He's 37 or something tomorrow.
Unnecessary. I gave 3 to Caldwell. I think 8 clearances, 32 touches. Good game of footy. 2 to Vigo. I love the around the ground stuff. The below his knees, he was so clean. And yes, that tackle will live in the memory bank for a really long time. Up there with Paddy Ambrose burying.
Oh,
Hill
yeah.
at the MCG.
Yes.
And I gave 1 vote to Lual.
Yep.
And that was just for the efforts that got us goals.
Yes, no, fair enough.
And that's ridiculous because he didn't do much else. But I liked it. I liked
He kicked 2 goals. He had he's had a good game.
Like the involvement and the reading and the pressure of them coming out of their back line. So there you go. Might be the only vote he gets all year, but he's got 1.
I feel like it will be.
In the coveted Don Pod. Best and fairest. Next week, I am so excited to say we have the bye. We are not doing a mid-season review this year. There is fucking nothing to talk about that we haven't already talked about. So sorry about that. I haven't even consulted with you on that yet.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to argue with you on this. What would people want to listen to?
Yeah,
we'll be better in the second half when we get all our players back. Probably they won't come back.
Won't be though.
Yeah,
that's my concern right now. Is what if we're not better?
I would like to see some players come back and Vigo ruck. That would be nice little. Anyway,
so after that, we play Gold Coast at Marvel.
At Gold Coast? Oh, at Marvel.
No. The Gold Coast at Gold Coast is the makeup game.
Yes, at the end of the year.
Because Cyclone. Yep.
Yep.
Now, I was a little surprised not to see McMahon in this game already against Freo. I thought he deserved a spot, but they kept May, and May played quite well. So, depending on what happens with the VFL tomorrow night, do we have another bye in the VFL when the AFL side has a bye?
Probably. It's kind of a stupid system.
We do. We don't play the Northern Bull Ants, from what I could see, once.
That
Yet
can't
we
be
have
right.
like 5 buys.
It's the stupid. The AFL need to really fix the VFL system. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my
I
life.
don't
It's
understand
3 games, a bye. 3 games, a
a buy.
bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking Jesus
It's
Christ.
odd. Um, Otherwise, I don't want to talk about what the team will be because it's going to
No.
be
I st-
Ridley,
yep.
Reed, Redmond, Sards, Fit, Langford back in,
I'm
and
a bit
presumably
more skeptical.
Goldstein.
I think it'll be Redmond and Durham will be the
Oh
two
yeah, and
in.
does
Yeah.
fuck.
I reckon Redmond and Durham will be the only two in. I reckon Reed and Ridley will hold another week.
Nah, they're back, and Langford back in.
Oh, Langford might be. He's been looking for so long.
Yeah, Langford playing the rest of the year with just a goal a game would be nice. Just a little bit something that makes me believe he can still play the game of football without getting injured.
Yeah, I reckon Archer May could kick a goal again for the rest of the year. But anyway,
Agree.
yeah,
But
yep.
anyway, do you think we can beat the Gold Coast in
No.
Melbourne? No. Yep. Fair enough.
Oh,
Cat
actually, at the Marvel, I don't mind us at Marvel because we do play slightly better football there.
and Damien Hardwick does not like
Hates Marvel,
Marvel.
yeah.
Gold
So
Coast lost to Richmond at Marvel earlier in the year.
I don't think it's good we're getting a break. I think we're getting the last bye round, which kind of hurts the young team that we are.
Hence your
Because they're
super coach.
well, don't worry about my Supercoach. My Supercoach is fine. Don't you worry about that. But I think that we'll have some young players who'll be looking forward to that to the rest week.
I really hope the whole club is,
Mm.
and just just enjoy it. And yeah, that your body's
How many games coming home is there? Then this is around. That'll be around 17. Is
so
it
be
around 8?
17 to 24 plus one.
Yeah. Okay. So 7, 8 games.
There is 24 rounds now, isn't there? Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
plus the one, which is still listed on the AFL website for round 24.
Yeah.
Because
That's gonna be weird.
I really don't think they know what they're going to do. If Gold Coast happen to miss finals, I think that's best case
The
scenario.
Gold Coast
The
don't have miss
AFL.
finals. They,
Yeah,
they
no,
could be
but like
top
for
four,
them
I
for
think.
scheduling,
Yeah. Yep.
because
Yep.
they can't put that game in the bye before
No, because that's a very unfair
Yeah,
thing for Gold Coast. So
well, they're
that,
fine.
yeah, but even the unfair thing could be us playing like Thursday and then having to play on Monday like that or Tuesday. That's not fair either.
It's not fair on Gold Coast.
Not
More
fair on
so,
Gold Coast. Nothing's gonna be
we
fair.
don't give a shit. Like,
No, but
do what you
nothing's gonna be
want.
fair on Gold Coast.
Maybe we should be playing in our bye week. We've already had a bye. It was just in round 4. We should play
Mm,
Gold Coast 2 weeks in a row.
but they're playing.
Yeah, I know.
Can't.
I just realised that. What did you call me?
We said we can't. I know what it sounds like, but
All right.
all right.
Enough of that. Anything else to add apart from we love Caddy? Yay.
We love Vigo.
We love
Um,
Vigo. Yeah, we do.
we are trying to remain positive in a season like so many others at the Essendon Football Club where it hurts to follow our shit club because
It's
everything seems to go wrong for us. And I
yeah.
don't want that to sound like as a cop out, but fuck me, like
There's
Collingwood have got 47-year-old men still running around playing their best footy, and our two ruckmen break down in 2 weeks apart. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
yeah, yeah.
Throw us a fucking.
It's no surprise that every week we're trying to be positive about the kids
Yeah.
and trying to then discuss the senior players that are struggling because it's unfair. It's just unfair to talk
Oh, we
about the
can't. Yeah,
kids.
we can't bang on about the kids. That's
Yeah,
not fair. Yeah, I
it's
agree. Yeah.
so when they come in and they do play well, it's like, oh fuck yeah, that's what keeps us going.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And then
then
I'm probably a bit harsh
conversely,
on the coaches because they need to be doing better things too.
well, yeah, conversely, then we've got to take it out on someone, and that falls to mostly Gresham for me, with a side of Parish.
Yeah, I got the frustration of Parrish last night because just so he looks. I think the problem is he doesn't want to kick. He looks
I don't
uncomfortable.
blame him.
He'll get the ball and he'll go. I probably should kick here, but I'll look for a handball to the left or right first because I don't want to put it on my boot. And I think that's a real concern. A bit like Perkins, who's lost his confidence to shake and bake, everyone that he was really good at breaking tackles, Perkins.
Mm.
And he's somehow lost that confidence. Now, is that a coaching thing or a playing thing? I don't know because I don't like seeing players that lost their confidence in what they do well.
Mm. That's fair. It
Mm.
sucks.
Mm.
Perkins is probably the best example of that as well.
Well, we've heard through the grapevine that Cox might be forced to retire.
Well, Jeremy McGovern. Jeremy?
Yeah,
Please tell me
it's
that was the
Jeremy.
right
Yeah,
McGovern.
yeah,
Yes.
pretty sure.
Retired today through that. And look, footy is important for them. I get it, but not as
That
important
was
as your little brain. Like
especially with the
that's,
Selwood boys, what's happened to them, and
yeah. So,
before
yeah.
that, Tucky and all that sort of guys. So clearly, the brain injuries are not a great thing to get. So,
No. So,
uh,
yeah. Mm, watch this space. So, well, no, I don't think we're far away from a decision with Cox.
mm. Yeah, and I think that they're the thing a bit different now to say when Tuck kept playing or whatever, maybe even the Selwoods, is that there's now a lot more financial support for them. Like I think the players put towards
A
a
fund.
fund that supports these sort of players. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that
Yep.
bombshell,
Dreary news.
Vigo's tackle. Oh, how about it?
Well,
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your company. We'll be back after the bye with a Gold Coast review. Go Dons.
go Bombers.